Hello everyone, let's have more news about the Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Warriors guard Brandon Podziemski went through his usual array of mega fan routines during the Valkyries' 84-57 victory over the frustrated Seattle Storm on Sunday night. He waved his arms after Valkyries baskets, mimicked officials when the Storm were called for offensive fouls, and stayed on his feet for the majority of the game while wearing a number 2 Caitlin Chen jersey, among a celebrity-laced, sold-out crowd that also included teammates Steph Curry, soccer icon Megan Rapinoe, and her WNBA legend of a wife, Sue Bird, and South Carolina coach Dawn Staley. None were as enthusiastic as Podziemski. Aside from hyping up the audience and players, he was also introducing a pair of rookies to the raucous environment known as Valhalla. Sitting next to Podziemski was second-round pick Alex Tuhey and undrafted free agent and Sacramento native Coleman Hawkins. "It was incredible," Tuhey said. "First of all, the atmosphere was unbelievable, and like nothing I've been a part of before." Hawkins, who attended prolific prep in Napa, has known Podziemski for years. The two played together at the University of Illinois during the 2021-22 season, and the second-year guard has helped the rookie forward acclimate to the Warriors organization. "But Brandon's been good to me and he's been helping me out," Hawkins said. "And you know, he's a familiar face, and I'm happy that he's here in this organization so he can show me the ropes." Podziemski is a native of Wisconsin, but has spent much of the offseason in his adopted home. Tuhey could not help but note how the shooting guard's love of the Bay shines through. Now let's go to another video. Don't forget to leave a like.
Grade their free agency so far.
I got a new word. It's buyout. Because this buyout for Dame Lillard took the entire league by surprise.
Yep.
So it took the Indiana Pacers by surprise. It's given the Bucks an entire new outlook on their offseason. They've been able to re-sign a majority of their free agents. Their key players that they've had to be supporting players. The one guy that they've lost has been Brook Lopez, who they've replaced with an excellent option in Miles Turner, an upgrade at that position, and they still have some money left to do maneuvering. And what they're hoping for is an engaged Giannis Antetokounmpo, who very well could win his third MVP award next year. Are they a team that I would consider the favorite? No. Are they a contender? Yes. And let's remember, a team that was in the middle of the pack this last year in the Eastern Conference, that had depth and had great play at the top of their lineup, ended up in the finals. That's what the Bucks are dreaming of right now.
Any team that has Giannis on it, you cannot count out. But the same could be said for a couple of other select stars in the league, including someone like, I don't know, Nikola Jokic. So let's go from the 2021 champs to the 2023 champions, the Denver Nuggets. They made the splash first. They traded away Michael Porter Jr. for Cam Johnson. You can see their numbers compared here. But Tim Legler, on the floor, how is this going to look?
Here's how it fits, and here's how it helps Denver, and this is why I think it was an upgrade. Let's talk about, first of all, some of the action you're going to see right here. And Malik, let me ask you a question. Do you know any other teams in the Western Conference that like to run a two-man game at a high
There's
level?
a couple. What about
maybe
Oklahoma
the Denver
City?
and maybe the Denver Nuggets, right?
Yeah.
So this is that action right here. You're going to turn the corner. You're going to get a dive. What I want you to focus on is here. This is Cam Johnson on the weak side of the floor. He's got great instincts for this, and he is a very good off-the-movement shooter. As you see the defense right here collapse on the paint, watch Cam Johnson circle back behind the basketball to create that space. Very good off the move, and then watch this. Little pump fake, freezes him, sidestep, knocks it down. Does that at a high level. Perfect release. He also does this. You can run pin downs for him at a higher level than what you could Michael Porter. And you're going to see right here, a couple of screens are going to be set. Now this is going to be a read. You got a double screen coming off the corner. They're going to read their teammate in the corner and see what he wants to do. As you see right here, when this cut is made along the baseline, that tells now Cam Johnson he is going to circle back off this down screen, and watch how quickly he gets to the three-point line, even against an all-league defender like Lou Dort. He doesn't need much time. It's a great read. Watch how quick those feet get together, how quickly that ball is out of his hands off the down screen. Now, how does it fit with Nikola Jokic? He's also an excellent weak side cutter. How does that play in? Well, pretty much anytime Jokic has the ball in the post, he is surveying everything on the weak side of the floor, as you can see right here. He's looking at all these eyes on the weak side, and he's also looking at his teammate. Any sort of weak side cut, Nikola Jokic is going to find you. Cam Johnson is a very good weak side cutter when there's space. Said it yesterday, I'm going to say it again. Cam Johnson is about to get the highest quality of shot he's ever gotten in his career because he's playing with Nikola Jokic.
He's pulling a Beyonce. You're going to get an upgrade you type of situation. Thank you for painting that picture for us here, Legs. Really appreciate it. As we take a look here at the still available free agents, some notable free agent names that are still available here on the market. Of course, DeAndre Ayton at the top of this list as we're monitoring that. But as we also look at some restricted free agents here, Jonathan Kuminga, Quentin Grimes come to mind. So now let's welcome in our reporter who spent a whole lot of time covering the Golden State Warriors last season. I mentioned Jonathan Kuminga here. What is the plan for him, for the Golden State Warriors?
Malika, it almost feels like we're in a little bit of a holding pattern because we have to wait and see what kind of market Jonathan Kuminga can get outside of Golden State. Can he find another team that will want him and then pay him and then also perhaps work out a sign and trade with Golden State? Or does he want to remain in Golden State? Does he want to take the qualifying offer and then maybe become a free agent next season and bet on himself? Those are all things we're going to see. Now, look, the Warriors, GM Mike Dunleavy Jr. has said, hopefully we get this done sooner than later, but it looks like they're going to wait. All league sources around the league are telling me they still hear Al Horford's name with the Warriors. They can do that before Kuminga. But as far as filling out the rest of the roster and what else Golden State can do, they're going to have to probably wait and see what Jonathan Kuminga does.
All right. What should Kuminga want here?
He should want to go be his best version. And I don't think that's going to happen in Golden State. And it's nothing against Golden State. It's nothing against Kuminga. It's just not a good fit. And especially when you bring in a guy like Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is a damn good basketball player. He needs the ball in his hands. He's going to make other guys better. He's going to defend on the other end. His basketball IQ is out of the roof. And I think that's where he gets the edge with Kuminga, where you put him in the game and you put him with Steph, you put him with those other guys, and you don't miss a beat. You put Kuminga in, and it's a little bit of a standstill offensively. He gets the ball in his hands. He wants to do his thing. So Jonathan Kuminga should look for a situation or opportunity to be his best version. It is his time, and he should not feel bad about that at all. It's oftentimes we make guys feel bad about wanting to step into their light and be their best version. I don't think he should feel bad about this. He's played the game. He's been in Golden State long enough. This is a guy who's 15 points per game, 45% from the field. He's a damn good basketball player. It's his time to shine, and he wants his opportunity, and I don't blame him.
What I'm hearing from different people is like, where is he getting this money from? What is he proving? We've seen splashes.
Yeah, we saw it when Steph went out in the playoffs last year.
But not something consistent. One GM said, I think he needs to worry more about the fit than the money right now and take care of the money later with his play. So what I'm hearing, the Warriors are still optimistic that they're going to re-sign him. But if they re-sign him, maybe that's for a sign and trade. Another thing I'm hearing, of the many teams that reached out to Damian Lillard, the Warriors were one of those teams. This is a guy that grew up going to games at Oracle Arena, sneaking in the media room, getting sodas, grew up a Warriors fan. That's interesting. I know Kuminga's big, but, hearing that the Warriors do have interest in Dame, I know that's very interesting to Bay Area people.
Well, it wouldn't necessarily be an either or, although that is interesting, Spears. Yeah. If this isn't the worst market for restricted free agents in the last generation, I don't want to see it. There's just no money out there for cap space, and sign and trades are very tough to pull out. I know that they happen routinely. We just saw one with Duncan Robinson, as a matter of fact, but they're very hard with restricted free agents because the team that has the rights isn't motivated to play ball. And so Kuminga is in a tough spot. Josh Giddey is in a tough spot. Quentin Grimes is in a tough spot. In these situations, what you tend to get is stalemates. And so what might end up happening is the best thing for the Warriors is to retain Jonathan Kuminga, to use him as an asset later on in trade. The best thing for Jonathan Kuminga might be to do something similar, even if these two sides probably are primed for a breakup.
Okay, so play this out for me, Lex.
Yeah, listen, I think personally at this point, I think that the Warriors need Jonathan Kuminga more than he needs them. And here's what I mean by that. Where are the athletes on this team? He does represent an athletic wing. The guy does have something from a skill standpoint and just a physical standpoint they don't have on their roster. I understand he's got warts. I know that. They wish he was a little bit more locked in, like defensively with his concentration. They wish that he was more consistent with his rebounding effort. I get all of that. The guy has played almost 6,000 minutes for the Golden State Warriors, and he's still auditioning. I think at some point you've got to come to the realization it's not going to happen for him in Golden State, where he's going to break through. And guess what? It might not happen somewhere else either, but I think Jonathan Kuminga, to find out, I think he needs to go somewhere where he doesn't have such cynicism looking at him all the time,
right,
waiting for the bad habits to crop themselves so he can go back to the bench. That's what I mean by that. They need him. They need the physical specimen that he is. He needs a fresh start somewhere else to see what this guy can actually become in this league.
And that's so well put when you're constantly saying, you know, this is who I am, this is who I am, this is who I am. If people don't want to believe you, then that at some point ends up on the team. Can we just, real quick, Damian Lillard potentially getting calls for him from the Golden State Warriors? Udonis, does that address a need?
As he should. You're talking to a hometown kid that took multiple pay cuts just to stay at the crib. As he should. As he has the opportunity to play at home, that's a lifelong dream for a lot of people. And at his point in his career, you want to have an opportunity to win a championship, you get a chance to play against Steph. I don't know if you win it, but you got a damn good opportunity when you play against Steph. I ain't never betting against the chef over there. So if he has the opportunity to start over and go play with Chef,
two of the best
at least take a look at it.
shooters
That's
of
all
all time.
At least take a look at it.
Greatest range of any backcourt in the history of the league, I can tell you that. They would put on a show.
There's going to be a lot of switching on pick and roll.
Oh.
I don't want to be the one called up. You
got
go.
that?
Yeah, don't call me up. You go.
Not me. But you did say there were a dozen or so teams who were making these calls about Damian
Lillard. He's going to take his time.
Yep.
But that has to.
But that's interesting to think about.
You know,
but
that's home.
I have one point, and to piggyback off you said, it makes all the world to a basketball player when you feel wanted. I know we big. We got tattoos and we athletic. We sensitive. We want to feel wanted in the locker room and by the coaches and by that organization. And once you don't feel wanted as a basketball player, it's hard to go back. It's hard to go back mentally, as much as you might want to. It is hard to go back mentally when you don't feel wanted somewhere.
His cousins are still Warriors fans.
Oh, yeah. When you're from Oakland, that's how it is.
Your cousin's going to be Warriors fans.
Just as
pay your check,
our former NBA players over here, just so you guys know.
There's a big holdup with the Warriors free agency saga and any moves they can make during the 2025 NBA offseason. But right now, we know that they have a preferred target in free agency, and that comes with the 39-year-old Al Horford. I know many Warriors fans might not be that happy to see Golden State targeting Al Horford to fill their front court needs, but I'm here to tell you that he's a very, very good player, but he's got a lot of interest right now. And Golden State, who knows if they're actually in the driver's seat to acquire him. Anthony Slater saying this as you're watching Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Tyler Smith. Many in the league continue to link Al Horford to the Warriors as a preferred target. A couple of different stretch bigs have gone by the wayside for Golden State as they have yet to make a move in free agency. Brook Lopez, gone. Looney steps away to go to the New Orleans Pelicans. And now Al Horford looks like the maybe top free agent center outside of DeAndre Ayton left on the market. Ayton will not hit the waivers until Wednesday. And Michael Scotto of HoopsHype also reported there were multiple Al Horford suitors out there. Now, the New York Knicks, they did make a deal and sign Gershon Yabusele earlier today. Could that take them out of the running for a guy like Horford? I think I would trend more towards yes than no on that one. They don't have much room to make another signing of Horford's caliber. Denver, they just went out and made a trade for Jonas Valanciunas today. Now, that doesn't affect their cap flexibility all too much, so they could potentially still go for Horford, but now they have a capable backup center behind Nikola Jokic. I don't expect them to be at the forefront of the Horford sweepstakes. The Cleveland Cavaliers have been seen as a dark horse candidate to acquire him, as they probably need another big to platoon in there with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. I think Horford would fit very well in Cleveland. And then the Los Angeles Lakers, who now look like a potential destination for Al Horford, as they're pursuing DeAndre Ayton, but it looks like they could be exploring additional front court options, as they are as thin as any team in the NBA at the center spot. Sam Amick and Dan Woke over at The Athletic. Dan Woke's the new Lakers reporter, and Sam Amick reports nationally about the NBA. Woke said that sources tell me in addition to DeAndre Ayton, the Lakers are still evaluating other options in free agency and via trade. Obviously, a crucial decision for the Lakers. Would expect an answer in the upcoming days. Amick then quoting that tweet saying, sources tell me and Dan Woke that Al Horford is also under serious consideration by the Lakers, in addition to the Warriors. As he says before, this might take some time. And Horford obviously is being heavily pursued by his former team, the Boston Celtics, who he's been with for the past couple of seasons, took that little break in between his original Celtics tenure to go to Philly to get a bag, and then got traded over to Oklahoma City, but now has been back in Boston, won a championship over there, and clearly Brad Stevens and the Boston Celtics want to bring back Horford, but financially for them, it's not all that easy right now. They need to make trades and free up money before making any Al Horford deal. Mark Spears was on ESPN last night, though, and said this about Golden State's pursuits. He said Al Horford's taking his time, and there's 3 to 4 teams. And it looks like right now that's the case with the Cavs, the Warriors, and the Lakers being at the forefront. Maybe the Nuggets could get in there as well. I know there's been a lot of speculation about Golden State, but we'll see if that three-point shot gets to the Chase Center. Look, man, if it does, I think Al Horford is absolutely a player that Golden State fans would fall in love with in, however long he would be there. I know he's 39 years old, but he's been incredibly effective and consistent each of the last 4 seasons, man. This is a player who, was better metrics-wise, on the floor with the Boston Celtics starters than even Kristaps Porzingis was, who everybody thought was an absolute cheat code for that championship Celtics run. Al Horford has been a consistent, nearly 40% three-point shooter for the past 4 seasons, and he's put up 10 points, 6 boards. That's what you can count on. And this is all basically while playing, backup to backup minutes at least role with Boston. Yeah, he's been the starter in a lot of situations, but this isn't a guy who you're asking to play 35, 40 minutes out of. If you can get 25 good, solid minutes out of Al Horford, then you're going to be happy with that, especially when he's been a consistent playoff performer as well. When Boston was, kind of underwhelming from the outside shot perspective out in the postseason this past year, Horford was still consistent at a 40%. He was, trying to be the one that would help them get out of ruts and break up their long scoring droughts. So Horford can still absolutely play. He's also an incredible veteran leader for a guy like Quentin Post, who the Warriors are putting a lot of faith in this upcoming season. So I'd be absolutely in on signing Al Horford if you can get him. He is going to be a little bit expensive, though, as per the deals that we have seen. Brook Lopez getting $9 million a season. Looney getting $8 million a year as well. So Horford, I could see easily in the ballpark of a $10 million contract. In that case, should the Warriors sign Al Horford? Why for yes and for no? You let me know what you guys think about the Warriors' pursuits of number 42 down in the comments section. Should he come to the Bay Area to compete and really fit in well within this Warriors movement offense and being a stretch 5 within the system who can also defend as well, even at age 39, and switch. He is still that good. Let me know why for yes and for no. Should this Warriors sign Al Horford or not? Well, if before they can, I think we probably have to figure out this Jonathan Kuminga situation. This is the holdup for the Warriors offseason. Kawakami is going at it with all these different Warriors fans barking at him on Twitter, talking about the whole Kuminga saga and all this. I think this has to be the domino that must fall in order for Golden State to maybe even sign Al Horford for a $10 million deal, because you don't know what's going to happen or what exceptions you'll have access to if, in fact, Kuminga ends up getting re-signed by Golden State. So this is a very, very tricky situation, and I'm very curious to see what all goes down. Oh, again, Mark Spears over on ESPN during the free agency special last night did say the following. So there seems to be some optimism in the Warriors camp that he will re-sign. He will be a restricted free agent. The market's not great for him. As one NBA GM told me, what has he proven to be worth what his agent wants, which is $25+ million? Who has that money for him? Why does he deserve that? Look, man, the market's not big for Kuminga, and I'm not sitting here trying to take victory laps or anything, but this is what I've been saying for the past few months. He didn't get a deal on day one, and we'll talk about that in just a second and what that means for his future prospects, but there aren't a lot of teams in the running. Slater said, Heat Bulls, and we've heard maybe Pelicans Kings. Not a lot of teams are throwing big bags at Jonathan Kuminga, and the Warriors seem to have a little bit more value in him than maybe a lot of other people think, or a lot of other people have value in him. We know how much Joe Lacob loves him. He said it's going to take a lot for him not to match. I think no matter what contract he gets, if it's $25 million from another team, Mike Dunleavy has to do what's best, threaten to match the deal and make a sign and trade happen, even though I don't love a lot of the packages that could come back. Ramona Shelburne said this on ESPN. So I think the Warriors want him back. The question is, does he want to be back? I know there are some teams that like Jonathan Kuminga. They just don't have the cap space, so it has to be a sign and trade. And from what I understand, the Warriors are not going to give him up for assets they don't like in return. They want to keep him unless they get something great back for him. I don't know what's going to be great. If they get a Kyle Anderson and Johanny Jaquez package, they're not taking that for Kuminga. They're going to re-sign him for that. There are some rumors about a 3 for $60 deal, maybe with a player option on the third year. Mark Spears was speculating that. I don't think he should get $25 million from Golden State, man. That put them in a financial rut. Now, could they get a better player maybe down the line if they wanted to trade him? But I don't want to do that at all. I don't want to re-sign Kuminga and just to trade him down the line. look, the issue here is the Warriors really can't make many financial deals this offseason until they know what the Kuminga future looks like. Like, they can't make a, another trade or a big swing trade if they don't have, like outside of Kuminga. Like, what if they decide to flip the assets they get back in the sign and trade for JK? Like, that could be a possibility as well. I don't know what's in store for Golden State, but I don't think they know either until they figure out what's going on with JK, and that could end up being a little while now as these teams that even have interest in them reportedly are kind of fading. Barry Jackson, the most tapped-in Miami sports insider in the world. He's the biggest Heat insider out there. With regard to the stuff out there, he have not been preparing, a trade for for DeMar DeRozan to this point. And then Kuminga would love a Heat pursuit, but Miami has declined to pursue at this point. Like, the Heat aren't really in, and we have heard nothing on the Chicago Bulls front. I don't really know if this is coming to a resolution anytime soon. And then we saw this from Tim Kawakami, who kind of put it all in perspective a little bit, talking about how Kuminga didn't get a deal done on the first day of free agency, saying while the top teams of the West changed into day one of free agency, the Warriors, they were stuck waiting for a Kuminga resolution, shopping on the discount aisles, and like they can't even necessarily sign Al Horford before a Kuminga resolution happens. He quoted it and said, if Kuminga was going to get a big enough offer from another team to really fire the starting gun for the Warriors offseason, it probably would have happened yesterday. But it didn't. So there's no market for Jonathan Kuminga. The Warriors seem stuck. He thinks he's worth more than he's going to get in free agency. And until that number comes down, I'm not so sure that the Warriors are going to see anything happen here. Like, they should hold firm. They should wait him out if they want to bring him back. And, like, look, I can't make that decision for them. If the Warriors want to bring Jonathan Kuminga back, then they should just wait him out as long as you possibly can. Now, is that going to limit what you could get back in a sign and trade? Like, if the number gets down to, $20 million, $18 million a year, then if you sign and trade him this offseason, you can only take back $9 to $10 million. So that's not exactly ideal as far as value you could get back on the court for JK. But I think both sides need a resolution very, very soon so Golden State can get into what they need to do financially this offseason. They'll have the full non-taxpayer mid-level exception, the biannual exception to maybe go sign an Al Horford or, go sign a bigger fish with that $14 million that they have at their disposal. And then they'll have another $9 million player on the roster. Like, there will be marginal upgrades to this Warriors roster if they could agree on a Kuminga sign and trade. But time is ticking. Players are signing, and teams are kind of getting their rosters in order here for 25-26, and the Warriors have not done anything yet. I think things need to happen quickly before it's too late, to be quite honest. And it would be a disservice to Steph if they don't make a move soon. Now, I'll say this, it's not Mike Dunleavy's fault. Like, you got to blame Joe Lacob for this mess that we've been put in here, the fate that he's put into this two-timeline approach, and Jonathan Kuminga specifically. Like, I just don't think he's that good of a basketball player, especially at this point, to warrant a $25 million contract. A guy like Jabari Smith has an elite trait, got $25 million. Like, Miles Turner just got $25 million. Jonathan Kuminga is not as good as either one of those guys, so I just don't understand why there's this big holdup here. Hopefully they can get something done soon, but there, according to all reports, is no traction so far on Jonathan Kuminga's future, whether it be in Golden State or with a sign and trade. So we're playing the waiting game now, and free agency is only getting started. With that being said, you predict it for me down in the comments section. We're going to keep doing this every day as new reports come out and new rumors start heating up around Jonathan Kuminga's future. What happens with him? T for trade, K for keep. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. And if you guys seen that picture of Kuminga, he was wearing that Warriors playoff shirt. You can get yours today for the Warriors 2025 playoff run at this link right here, and it's super on sale. It was $35, and now it's only $18. Basically half off here. Get at this link, chatsports.com/win4thebay. That link is in the comments section and description of today's video as well. I think it's fresh, and I love playoff shirts, man. It's always fun to rock the tees that were commemorative for that season. I think this year for Golden State was fun. So get at this link for the low price of $18. chatsports.com/win4bay. And that'll do it for today's edition of Warriors Today by Chat Sports. Lock us in for all the latest Warriors content all offseason long. If they make a trade, if they make a signing, we will bring you the latest right here at the channel, youtube.com/WarriorsTV. We'll see you guys all in the next one. And as always, let's go Dubs.
Free agent forward Josh Minott has agreed to a 2-year, $5 million deal with the Boston Celtics, according to ESPN's Shams Charania. The move comes as Boston faces the potential departure of veteran big man Al Horford, who has drawn strong interest from both the Golden State Warriors and Los Angeles Lakers. Minot, 22, was selected 45th overall in the 2022 NBA draft and spent the past 3 seasons with the Minnesota Timberwolves. The 6'8" forward averaged 2.6 points and 1.0 rebounds across 46 appearances last season, shooting 48.9% from the field and 32.6% from 3 in just over 6 minutes per game. With the Celtics trading Kristaps Porzingis to the Atlanta Hawks and Drew Holiday to the Portland Trail Blazers, along with Jason Tatum recovering from a torn Achilles, Minot could see expanded minutes during the 2025-26 season. Horford, 39, just completed his 18th NBA season and 7th with Boston. He averaged 9.0 points, 6.2 rebounds, and 2.1 assists across 60 games while shooting 42.3% from the field and 36.3% from beyond the arc in 27.6 minutes per game. According to Hoops Hype's Michael Scotto, Horford is being pursued by multiple teams, including the Warriors, Lakers, New York Knicks, Denver Nuggets, and Cleveland Cavaliers. His shooting, defensive awareness, and playoff experience have made him one of the most sought-after veterans in free agency. The Warriors, who lost longtime center Kevin Looney to the New Orleans Pelicans on Monday, are actively seeking to reinforce their front court. Looney signed a 2-year, $16 million deal with New Orleans, opening a void in Golden State's rotation that Horford could potentially fill alongside Draymond Green. The front office is expected to remain aggressive in pursuing experienced big men who can stretch the floor and anchor defensive possessions. And you, fan, what do you think about Al Horford's situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.